Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hi.
All right. So the Azure Cloud Security Masters program, as you guys all know, you must have joined with the expectations to know about the Azure Cloud, right? So I'll come back to this point of Azure Cloud, what exactly this Masters program is. Okay. So for now, let's break the ice with some interesting question. Okay. So on my screen, like on your screen, obviously, you must be able to locate two resumes. Okay. So, which one out of the two do you think is more apt from the eyes of a recruiter? So, if you are a recruiter, for example, which one would you choose? You can drop down your answers in the comment section in the chat. Is it the first one or the second one?
It's second one.
Sorry.
Second one.
Yeah, of course. And can someone tell me the reason why is it?
So because
Because
we have mentioned some certifications like Azure certification is there, so it's
Mhm.
clearly visible for us.
Right.
We have, yeah.
Okay. So, do you think that so basically in industry, you know that recruiters always look for certifications because it obviously gives us, right? Okay. So, obviously, if you're joining this course or this program, you must be having the expectation that this is what you want on your resume, right? So, of course, you're at the right place. So, let me quickly introduce you to our trainer, who is Mr. Sandeep. He has over 8 years of experience in the industry. So, he's himself a cloud engineer. Broadly speaking, he's a senior cloud operations engineer. So, you guys would be learning from him. He is the host for tonight's session. All right. So let's see what's the agenda, what's he's going to cover tonight. So, first of all, he's going to start, of course, with the basics of cloud computing. And then we have the types of cloud computing. So, you would learn about everything like the hybrid cloud or the private and the public cloud. And at the same time, you would learn about the service models, all right, such as SaaS, etc. And then you would learn how Azure is the best choice for you exactly. Okay. So you would learn what are the other cloud providers in the market, such as AWS and Azure, and then there's GCP as well. And lastly, we'll learn about the life cycle of cloud computing solutions. All right. Are you guys with me? Just leave a quick, I don't know, a thumbs up in the chat or someone. Like, if you're ready to learn these things, or if there's someone who is already familiar with these concepts, I would love to, know about that. Are you guys familiar with cloud already, or are you guys new to it? Anyone? Okay, I just see a thumbs up from Vivek, so that makes up for it. Okay, so coming back to what is the Azure Cloud Security Masters Program? Okay, so Network Kings has very carefully and strategically created a master's program which can land you really high paying job in the industry. Okay, so let's say, for example, if you just go for the AZ 104 certification, okay, so that is going to land you a job of an administrator for around an average of 6.5 LP, I would say. But if you go for the master's program, okay, there is going to be a huge jump and you can expect around 9 to 10 LPA on an average. Okay. So this is why we have strategically created this program so that you can land a job as a cloud security engineer. So there are three mainly courses. The first one is the AZ 104, and we have the AZ 500, which covers the network security, and then we have AZ 700 that covers everything about the Azure networking solutions. All right. And what is something that's different about networkings, right? You may ask. So the first thing is that the trainers, aka engineers, they would give you exam guidance of all these three certifications, all right? And then you also get the recordings of all the classes that you attend so that you can, learn hands-on at the same time. And you also get career roadmaps. So What you can do is you can hit our career counselors, you can reach out to us through WhatsApp, or you can go to the nwkings.com website. You can fill out the form and you can ask our career counselors for the career roadmaps as well. So you'll get to know how you can exactly become a cloud security engineer. All right. And there's something actually really great for you guys. So there's an ongoing offer right now, and I would like to give you a quick disclaimer. The offer is going to end uh, by Saturday. So you guys can either, screenshot the QR code if you are on your mobile phones, or you can quickly scan the QR code to actually get the discount. It's basically flat 13,000 off on all our master's program. So if you want to enroll in the Azure Cloud Security Masters program, this is such a great deal. So yeah, I would just freeze the screen for some time so that you guys can either screenshot it or scan it. And once it's done, I can someone could quickly give me a thumbs up so that I know you guys are in with it. Have you guys screenshotted it or like scanned it? Can I get a quick response?
So this is WhatsApp link, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you scan the QR, you can get this, it directs you to WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Shall we move on, everybody?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, so yeah, testimonials are a great way of knowing how a program is or how is everything going on. So we have actually transformed over 40,000 careers till now since 2013, and some of the testimonials are here right on your screen. So that's all about it. So. And I hope you guys are really excited to start learning about Azure Cloud. And that's all from my side, and I would ask Sandeep to take over, please. Yeah.
Hi, Akruti. Good evening.
Good evening, Sandeep. The stage is all yours.
Thank
All
you. Thanks for the brief introduction.
right, welcome. Yeah.
All right. So, hi everyone. Good evening. This is your trainer Sandeep. So I'm going to teach you Azure 104, 500, and then 700, right? So, in order to start with the cloud computing, so as Akriti told, so I have around 8 years of experience in IT. So right now I'm working as a senior cloud operation engineer in one of a good MNC, right? And uh, so to starting with the cloud career, right? So we must be aware of that why cloud is needed nowadays. Why everyone is talking about cloud? Anyone? Question for you.
Cost saving.
Cost saving. Okay.
Or easy to access.
think it for store the data securely.
Great.
So after the AI, cloud is the second booming industry.
Right. Okay.
Sir,
Save material cost.
if I compare the on-premise server, they are have some maintenance issue, and there are some every portion there are every each employee, and also their capital cost, and also all things is more. But in cloud, they don't have any capital capex, and also there no need to require maintenance. So that's why cloud is too easy.
Exactly. That is the major thing. That is what I want to hear from you. Okay. Yes. So in order to manage cloud, right, or in order to manage your compute services, earlier how you were doing it, right? So we were doing it on our on-prem data center itself. We have to procure a hardware. We have to create virtual machines over there. We have to host our services over there. Either it could be a DNS, or it could be a domain controller, or it would be um, um, a DSCP server, IIS server, WDS server. So all these things we were doing it on our on-prem network or on-prem data center. But now these cloud providers are saying that we are going to give you the infrastructure. You have to just configure it. We are going to avail it for you for 24/7. Just you have to configure it as per your requirement. You have to configure it. If you want to make a DNS server, you can make it. If you want to make a DHCP server, you can make it. Or if you want to host a website, that also you can do. If you want to store a huge amount of data, right, that also you can go with. And the best part is they are giving you pay as you go model. Means as soon as you are going to start the services, from that time itself they are going to start charging you. Or if let's say I created a virtual machine today, right, and tomorrow I'm going to shut down it, I'm going to stop it, I'm not going to use it further. So in that case, Microsoft or any of the cloud provider is not going to charge anything to me. That is the best part. So if I'm running it for 24 hours in 1 month, so I have to pay for those 24 hours only, right? And along with it, there are multiple kind of things. There is going to be a high availability also. If let's say your server is down, so in that case, your services will be transferred to the other server. Or if let's say your file server is down, then again, you can configure your high availability so that if any of the compute is down or any of the virtual machine is down, you will be able to access your data from the other VM. So these are some of the example. And in so once we will start our classes, so you will be able to get to know that how it is being used in the organization. Okay. So the agenda for today is to understand why cloud computing, what is cloud computing. Let me just quickly share my screen. Just do let me know once you can see it. Is it visible?
Yes.
Visible.
Yeah.
It's visible.
Great. So most of you already aware of that why cloud is being used or why cloud is being now, it is on boom right nowadays. Right, but still, if let's say someone is not aware of it, so we will talk about it from very scratch, and then we'll see what and all options are there, what and all things can be configured on the cloud services. Or if let's say you are already using a on-prem data center, you are already using using servers in your on-prem data center. So in that case, in order to opt cloud services, right, what and all points you have to be aware of. If I need to configure cloud services, if I want cloud computing services, right? So in that case, I must have some, some points that why I want cloud. So how to opt for the cloud services, that also we will talk about, which is basically a life cycle management of cloud computing. Okay. So what is cloud computing? So basically, Microsoft, so majorly we are going to talk about Microsoft only because we are covering Azure, Microsoft Azure. So I'm just taking reference of Azure itself. But the same thing you can relate it with other cloud providers also. Okay. So, but I'll be focusing on the Microsoft Azure. Okay. So basically, Microsoft Azure is saying that I am going to give you the infrastructure on rental basis. For example, I'm just giving you on rental basis. You need not to manage any electricity. You need not to manage any internet connectivity. You need not to manage any you need not any physical IT person should be there to manage. So everything I'm going to give it. Everything Azure is going to give it. Right. So cloud computing is a delivery of computing services over the internet. You will be able to access them. Let's say I'm creating a virtual machine on cloud, right? So I will be able to connect it from my laptop itself using my internet through any corner of the world. There is no restriction that you can connect it from a single location. We can put that restriction also. That is a later part, right? In which we will discuss about security. Okay. So if let's say I want that one virtual machine can be accessed from a single IP, others will not be able to, right? So I can put these kind of restriction as well. That is the later on part, but by default, can be accessed throughout the world with the help of internet connectivity. Okay, so these services are basically servers, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence. So depending upon our requirement, we can configure our database, we can configure our applications, we can configure the mobile services. Like you can take example of Intunes also, right? So Intune is also a cloud computing model. It is a software as a service, right? So in this case, Microsoft is saying everything, I will manage it. You have to just take the subscription. You have to just take the license. Whatever the backend services are going to be there, Microsoft will manage it, right? Then you have storage. You can configure your file servers, and that can be accessed with the help of internet, right? But in real time, guys, let's say you are going to work in the company, so these services are not going to be accessed directly with the help of internet. You are going to put some kind of security, like you are going to configure VPN, right? You are going to configure some network security group, some application rules, some firewall rules you are going to configure. So how to restrict, how to do it, right? So that we will discuss in the topic itself, but it can be done. So I am going to give you a real-time exposure based on my experience, based on what companies are doing nowadays with cloud, how they are configuring, how they are securing it, how they are managing, right? So based on that, I'll be taking this further. Okay. So cloud computing, nothing, it is just the services which is being managed by the Microsoft itself. I need not to do anything in this case. Okay. Then cloud computing, some examples you can see: storage devices that can be directly accessed from your laptop itself. You can access your storage. Sorry, Shreyas, you have any query?
No, sir. Sorry.
Please mute yourself. Guys, until unless you don't have any query, please don't unmute, right? It will interrupt the class. Definitely, I'll give you the chance to unmute yourself. Okay. All right. So rather than managing files and local devices, cloud computing makes it possible to save them over internet. Now you can take example of OneDrive, right? You can save your data on OneDrive itself. And that OneDrive, you can access it through any device. You just need one internet connection. That's it. You can store your data on OneDrive, and it can be accessed through any laptop, through any mobile phone. That is also an example of cloud computing. Okay. Then types of cloud computing. So cloud computing has some, first of all, it has deployment model, and it is categorized basically in deployment model and service model. So what is deployment model? That is public cloud, hybrid cloud, and private cloud, right? And then the service models are infrastructure as a service, IaaS, PaaS, platform as a service, and SaaS, software as a service. Let's talk about one by one what it is. So you can understand with the help of this diagram. Public cloud. Public cloud means it is available for everyone. Means, for example, first of all, if I want to configure any of the service on cloud, I have to take a subscription. Okay, and Microsoft is giving pay-as-you-go subscription and the free trial. Okay, so in case of free trial, you will be needing one credit card, one unique credit card, one unique contact number, and one unique email ID, and then you will be able to get $200 credit in your account, and that you can use for 1 month. Okay, so I will let you know how to activate it, how to get it, or even if let's say you want to get passes. So in that case also we will help you out. If you have already used your credit card in the cloud services, in Microsoft Cloud Services, so in that case we will help you with the sponsorship card vouchers also. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about public cloud, right? So in case of public cloud, so obviously there is going to be one data center, which is going to be managed by the Microsoft. And in this data center, multiple servers are going to be there, or multiple server racks are going to be there. like this. Even I'll show you one real-time data center also. Okay. See, so on these racks, obviously servers are going to be there. You are going to mount servers. So same thing, you can relate it with your on-prem data center. Microsoft also has the same services, right? So you can relate it with that with your on-prem data center itself. Okay. So see, I have these servers. So now what public cloud says, if let's say you took the subscription, For example, I'm naming it as subscription 1. Guys, subscription is needed, right? Without it, you will not be able to configure anything on cloud. Okay, on Microsoft Cloud, basically, Azure. Subscription is needed. Either it would be a free trial or it would be a pay-as-you-go. Companies used to have pay-as-you-go subscription, but in our case, we are going to use free trial. Okay. So after getting this subscription, let's say this is my laptop. This is my laptop. So first of all, I will log into this subscription. I will log into the Microsoft Azure portal.azure.com. This is basically a web URL. I will log in onto it, and then it will identify my subscription. And then based on this subscription, I will be able to configure my virtual machine in these servers. I want to configure a virtual machine, right? So I will give a command from my laptop, and it will be configured on a physical server, which is hosted by Microsoft, right? And now it might possible that one more company is there. They also took this subscription. They also have the subscription. For example, I'm naming it as company 2. So obviously their employees are also going to configure virtual machines. They are also going to configure some compute services on Microsoft Azure. So in that case, it might possible that whatever the command they are going to give from their laptop for creating the virtual machine, it might possible it is going to be configured on the same server. It can only be accessed by this company, but resources are being shared with multiple organizations. That is why it is cheap also. Any doubt, any question till now? Am I clear? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, we can continue.
Great. All right. So in case of public cloud, it might possible the same resources are going to be shared with two different organizations. And that is why it is cheap if you will compare it with the private cloud. Okay. So this is called private cloud, right? See. Sorry, public cloud. My bad. So public cloud provides a shared platform that is accessible to the general public through an internet connection. This is what I explained. Okay. So public cloud operated on pay as per use. This is what I told whenever you are going to run the services. So for those basically if you are running it for 24 hours, so in that case you have to pay for the pay for 24 hour only. No need to pay for lifetime. Unless you are not running it, you need not to pay any penny to the Microsoft Azure. Okay. This is public cloud, right? And then we have private cloud. Private cloud, in case of private cloud, a dedicated infrastructure is going to assigned to our organization. For example, I took public cloud, right? So in this case, this particular server is going to assigned for my organization only, for my subscription only. It cannot be shared with any other company. Like in case of public, they were sharing it, right? Microsoft was sharing it. But in case of private, right? you are going to have your own infrastructure. You are going to have your dedicated infrastructure in which you are going to play with, in which you are going to configure any of the services. Obviously, now this it is dedicatedly assigned to you. So from that time itself, even if you are running it or not, you have to pay to the Microsoft, because it is assigned to this hardware is assigned to you. Microsoft is not sharing the resources of this hardware to any other company. It is assigned to you, right? It is assigned to your organization. That is why it is expensive if you'll compare it with the public, right? Then we have hybrid cloud. Hybrid is basically the combination of public and private, where actually, if let's say, I'll take one example of some websites, right? See, you are able to access Amazon.com, right? You are able to place your order, right? That is publicly available for everyone. But are you able to check others' account? Until or unless you're not going to have the login credentials of the other user, are you able to get it?
No.
Obviously no. That can only be managed internally by Amazon. So that is a private cloud in which only Amazon is managing the accounts, right? And the users, whatever the information they want to share it with the public, they're sharing it. Other than that, their internal process, you are not able to see anything. You are not able to see their database, right? Obviously, they are going to have a huge database, right? So you can't see that database. It is not available for public. It can be accessed within Amazon only, or Amazon employees will be able to access them. So that is the example of hybrid. All right. Then service model. Service models are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Now, infrastructure as a service means you will be able to configure the infra. You will be able to configure virtual machine. You will be able to configure firewall, right? Storage, security, networking, right? So these are the compute services. Okay. So if you will go to infrastructure as a service. So IaaS is a cloud service that provide basic computing infrastructure. Services are available on pay as per what you use. Infrastructure provides include, so providers are basically AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP and all. So as a cloud administrator or as a cloud operation engineer, right, it is your responsibility to manage the infrastructure, to configure the infrastructure. So basically there are two profiles, right? Cloud architect and cloud operations. So architect will design that how virtual machines are going to be configured, how they will be able to communicate, what and all security rules you are going to define, how VNets are going to communicate with each other. So that is the responsibility of architect. And the operations engineer, so whatever the design he is going to give you, it is your responsibility to implement it in real time. That is why you can see users are IT administrators. And if you have already the knowledge of servers or the web application or the firewall or a basic knowledge of networking, right, you will be able to understand it. You will be able to learn it. Load balancing, multiple things are going to be there. So even if you are going to do load balancing in on-prem, so it can be possible on cloud also. You can configure your load balancing in cloud as well. So there is a dedicated services available on cloud for the load balancing. You can configure either internal load balancing or private load public load balancing. So internal, it can only be accessed within the Azure network, right? And public, it will be available outside Azure network also. Okay. So in IaaS, this is going to be our major responsibility as a cloud operations to manage it. Okay. Then we have platform as a service, right? So it is basically being used by the software developers. If let's say they want to build one application, or they want to build a website, right? So obviously they will be needing some platform. They are going to design, they are going to make it on either Java or .NET or Python, right? So they will be needing that kind of platform. Same way, if they are going to design it, obviously they want to test it as well, whether it is working in real time or not, whether the developer is getting the desired result or not. So to do these kind of testing of web application, so there is a platform as a service available by the Microsoft, right? So here you can see PaaS provides cloud platform and runtime environments for developing, testing, and managing applications. Right? It allows software developers to deploy application without requiring all the related infrastructure. And basically, it is being used by the software developers. But I will also show you how platform as service can be used. So I'll show you. Okay. Then the last one is software as a service, SaaS. So I gave you the example of Intunes, right? So Intune is a example of software as a service. Likewise, we have Office 365, right? So it is also example of software as a service. Why? Because see, if you will compare it with the Exchange server, right? So earlier you used to configure Exchange server in your on-prem data center, in your on-prem servers. But now Microsoft is saying just take the license, right? And you are going to get Exchange online. You have to just log into Exchange online with the internet. That's it. And then you will be able to configure your rules over there. No infrastructure is needed, right? No high availability is needed. Everything is going to be managed by the Microsoft. We have to just take a license. That's it. Same for Intune, same for Office 365. Same you can relate it with the Google applications also, Google Apps also. Okay. So SaaS cloud providers host and manage the software application on pay as you go pricing model. So if I want to manage my end devices through Intunes, I will just take a subscription from Intunes, from Microsoft, and then I will be able to manage my devices. Even some of you, let's say if you have company portal application on your phone, right? So then your company is using Intunes. Earlier company were doing it with the help of SCCM, but now Intune is the upgraded version of SCCM, where actually whatever you were able to do on SCCM, the same thing you will be able to do on Intune also. But what is the difference? In case of SCCM, you have to build the server in your on-prem data center. You have to make a primary site, you have to make database, you have to make domain controller. Then you have to make secondary sites to manage your devices. But now no need to do these kind of thing. Directly just take the license and Microsoft will manage it. This is the example of software as a service. Any question till now?
So I have one question. So could
Yeah,
you
please go ahead.
brief? So I have some doubts in the hybrid cloud.
Hmm.
So like, if I say like, means how can we use as a company's perspective?
Yeah, obviously. So if let's say you're using, your company has one website, right?
Hmm.
So that website is going to be available for public, right?
Okay.
But whatever the database, whatever the account, or let's say you're hosting a e-commerce website, right?
Okay.
So in that case, public users will not be able to access your database. They will only be able to access your application.
Website. Yeah. Correct.
Okay, that is the through this you can understand it.
Okay.
Okay, or you can take one more example. Hybrid, you can say it is a combination of both on-prem as well as cloud. right? If let's say you have some of the server on your on-prem data center, so you can work with both on-prem as well as cloud. In that case, that is also example of hybrid.
So our data will be in our data center,
Exactly,
and we are accessing it through the cloud. Correct.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
But at some extent, it totally depends on you that how they will be able to, how the users will be able to access it. You are going to create some kind of, security rules, right? So that
Correct.
everyone will not be able to access the data. You know?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, and yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Anyone else? All right. Let's go ahead then. Now, cloud providers are basically, there are multiple cloud providers in market nowadays, because obviously this market is on boom now, right? So my AWS is the leader, no doubt. Okay, then Microsoft, then IBM Cloud, then VMware, then DigitalOcean, then Google Cloud, Alibaba, right? So multiple cloud platforms are there, but these are the well-known: AWS, Azure, and then GCP. So these are the well-known cloud providers which are being used in real time. Okay, then life cycle of a cloud computing solution. So now we understood that what is cloud computing and what and all things we can configure on cloud technology, cloud platform. But in order to opt these services, right, what and all things we have to be aware of? Because obviously you can't go blind, right? You have to give the cost effective solution also to your organization, to your management. Then only they are going to allow you. Okay, so if let's say your company is now deciding to move their infra to cloud, so in that case, what and all points you have to be aware of, that comes under life cycle of a cloud solution. Okay, first one is define the purpose. You have to be clear that whether you want to opt for public, private, or hybrid, because this will play a big role in your cost, right? I told you public cloud is going to be cheaper if you will compare it with the private. Or if you want to work with both your on-prem as well as cloud, so in that case also you have to think around that what is going to be the cost, right? So now, depending upon your business requirement, you are going to evaluate that what is going to be the best cloud module for you, right? And this you will be able to understand once you are going to work in the on-prem data center. Once you are going to play with the servers, once you are going to play with the networking, security, then only you will be able to understand this thing. That is why I mentioned, if you already have the knowledge of servers, it will be easy for you to understand. It will be easy for you to evaluate. Acha, one more thing is there, right? So as I told, we have to give the cost effective solution to our management or to any client also. Let's say you are a service based company, you are giving some services to client. So to client, you have to give the cost effective solution. So in that case, what you can do, before opting the services or before creating these virtual machine and storage, you will get the idea that what is going to be the cost. How? So online, there is calculators available, right? Which is Azure pricing calculator. Acha, Microsoft is available globally, right? If let's say you are working for Indian clients, right? You can configure the infra in India data center of Microsoft. Same way, if you're working for US, you can configure their servers on US data center. Okay, so Microsoft is available globally, around 54 global location it has, even now more than it. Okay, so if I'll go to Azure pricing calculator, acha, cost also varies, depends on your location. So it might possible in some of the location you are getting those services cheaper than other one, because obviously each country has their tax systems and all, right? So it totally depends on that. All right. So now, if let's say I want to configure some virtual machines, right? So here you have the example of everything, right? You want to configure compute, networking, storage, web, mobile, containers, database, everything you have. So you have to select those that service which you want to configure, and then you will get the idea. Okay, just for example, I'll just give you a short example, or even I'm going to give you one task, right? You have to just evaluate the cost incurred by the Microsoft if you are going to configure the services. Okay, so this is your task to perform. I think from Monday itself we are going to start our regular classes. So till Monday you will be able to get the idea. Okay, so if I want to configure VM, I'll select virtual machine. Okay, and then I'll go to view. Sorry, no thanks. Yeah, so here you can see virtual machines, right? Now, in which region you want to configure it? As I told, Microsoft is available globally. So which region you want to opt for? You can see there are multiple regions available. In US itself, you can see Central US, East US, East US 2, North Central, South Central, West US, West US 2, West US 3. And then in UK also, you can see UK South, UK West. And then UAE, you can see, right, Switzerland, Sweden, Spain, Qatar, Poland, Norway. So based on your requirement, you have to select it, and then you will going to get the cost idea, right? So for example, I want to configure in India, and I'm going to go for Central India. Okay, and now which kind of operating system you want to create? Windows or Linux? Microsoft only support Windows and Linux operating system, guys. Okay, AWS support macOS also, but in case of Microsoft, it only supports Windows and Linux. Okay, so let's say I'm selecting Windows. Okay, let's say I'm selecting Windows, right? And then tier for now, I'm just going with the standard. Okay, now instance size, depending upon the load of services on my server, obviously I should have a high compute virtual machine, right? And now again, higher will be the compute power, higher will be the cost. As simple as that, right? And for how long you are going to run it, right? So for example, I'm going to, okay, 730 hours. That means it is for 1 month. Okay, so if I'm going to run this virtual machine, which is going to have two virtual CPU, 8 GB of RAM. So in that case, if I'm going to configure it in Central India, so the cost will be around $143. Huh. If you want to reserve it, then you can get some discount also. If you're going to reserve it for 3 years, then you can get 63% discount on the total cost. Okay, so this is just the idea. Acha, if you want to compare, right, you can see in Central India, it is charging $143, right? But if I'll compare it with any other location, let me go with Brazil, South. Okay, so it was 143 in case of India, right? And now you can see $183 in Brazil if you are going to configure same virtual machine, and if you are going to run it for same 30 hours. So Microsoft will charge $183. So cost, guys, totally depends on location also. because each country has their own taxation system. So based on that, obviously Microsoft has to pay to the country also, where actually they are configuring their data center. They are building their data center. Or for example, Microsoft is taking one place on lease, right? One data center on lease. So that lease also depends on the location, on the country on the country also. So that is why cost is varying. Okay. So likewise, you will be able to get the idea on all the services. Let's say you want to configure storage, right? So you can select storage, and then you are going to get multiple option under storage, like either you want to go for blob, file server, queue. So that you have to select, and based on that, you have the redundancy option also, LRS, ZRS, ZRS, ZZRS, right? So these all things we will be explaining in the I will be explaining in the topic itself, but this is just for your idea that you can use this calculator to get the costing. All right. Now let me go back to the PPT. Define the purpose. Right now we are clear with that what and all solution we have to take, what kind of cloud we have to select, right? Then you have to select your hardware also in order to run the application, in order to run your services on cloud, right? So what is going to be the compute power which you will be needing? Right? So if let's say you will be able to run your services within two virtual CPU and 8 gig of RAM. So why to go with 16 gig, or why to go with 32 gig? You are going to get a good compute power, right? But if you are able to get the if you are able to achieve the same thing within the low compute, why to go with high compute? Later on, acha, one more beauty is there of cloud, right? Whenever you want, you can scale it. Let's say initially I configured one virtual machine with two virtual CPU and 8 gig of RAM. But later on I realized that no, I want more. So do I need to delete it?
No, sir. We can increase our storage or RAM, whatever we desire, as per our load, as per our application resources utilization. We can increase in same
Exactly.
configuration.
Just
Same,
in
same.
a single click or within seconds,
Yes,
guys, you will
but
be able to scale it.
for that we have to pay the charges. Whatever
Obviously.
for GP charges, yeah, we have to pay it.
Yeah, obviously it is going to be there, right?
Yeah.
If you are increasing two more virtual CPU, or if you are increasing 16
Actually, sir,
GB RAM, you have to pay.
we have dedicated cloud actually, and we
Mhm.
have 27 machines, and we are using actually Microsoft D365 finance and operation, and we
Okay.
are using life cycle services as well,
Okay.
because whenever we are using our application is a little bit slow, so we can log in life cycle services and we can show the utilization of our all resources like UAT
Exactly.
server, like live server, production server, golden
Monitoring.
server, like that.
Right.
And we are using actually AD also, ADP1. We have
Mhm.
taken a license actually of Azure, and
Got it.
all the infrastructure are moving Azure already.
Yes, exactly. Right. So guys, within a single click, we will be able to increase it. Right. Now, obviously, initially you should go with the low compute power, because why to pay, right? Once you're realizing no, your services are a bit slow, then in that case, whenever you want, you can increase it. And even after increasing, now you realized no, you want to decrease it. Again, you can do it. Okay. So we have to be very precise with the requirement of the compute services, compute power basically. Okay. Then define the storage. Now, obviously, in order to store the data, we will be needing the storage. We will be needing the backup. We will be needing the backup recovery solution also. How much storage is needed? If let's say we can, we need only 1 TB and we are taking 5 TB storage from Microsoft. So what is the use, right? Unnecessary. you are just wasting your money, your
Yes, sir.
company's
Yes, sir.
money.
Actually, premium SSD charges is different if
Exactly.
normal SSD, because we are
Exactly.
DR. It's before we are using premium SSD charges, reservation charges coming more. Then we have changed normal SSD. Then per
Exactly.
GB cost reduce.
Yeah. So on disk also, guys, you are going to get SSD, premium SSD, normal hard disk, right? Because obviously, if you're going with a premium SSD, in that case, IOPS speed would be high. The data read write speed would be high. So you have to decide that what kind of storage you want, right? If let's say the data is not being accessed from last 2 years, so why to keep it in your hot tier? Hot tier is basically to access data frequently. So you can move the data to archival. So in that case, the price will vary. Price will be
Right, sir.
low in case of archival,
Otherwise, sir, internet charges also apply whenever bill is come from Microsoft or CSP partner.
right? Then you have to define the network. Obviously, without networking, you will not be able to, expose your services to your clients. Whatever servers you are configuring in your on-prem, right? So will you be able to configure it with the help of without IP or without network? Obviously, the users
No,
will
sir.
not be able to access it, right?
Correct,
The
correct,
same
correct,
way,
correct.
we have to define the network. How the network is going to be configured. If let's say, acha, one more thing. Just think logically and do let me know, guys. Okay. I think in my last session also I asked the same thing. Let me just ask again. See, now as I told, Microsoft has their data center globally. Okay. Now, for example, this data center is available in India and this data center is available in US, right? And I have some servers here. So this is under a single subscription. Okay. I configured some of the infra in India and some of the infrastructure is in US. So guys, will they be able to communicate with each other?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
By default. The server which are available in India and the servers which are available in US under a single under a same subscription, will they be able to communicate by default? Yes or no?
I think no.
Not by default.
Exactly.
Sir, no,
Not very.
because there will a barrier between two country difference. That means India and
Correct.
US.
Correct.
Correct.
By default, you will not be able to make the communication. But India customer want to access US server also. So it comes under networking only, right? So what we have to do, we have to configure the
So,
VNet pair.
hello. Hello.
We have to configure the VNet pairing of both the locations so that they will be able to access the data of each other. That can be
I
done.
think we need to be configure the tunnel for each.
Yeah, tunnel also we can do. We can configure VPN also. We can configure site to site VPN also. We can configure VNet peering also. There are multiple options, right? And I'll be showing you each one of them. Okay, no need to worry about. So what I'll do, there are multiple options available to make the communication, but by default they will not be able to communicate. So in that case, I have to define in my networking whether how the VMs will be able to communicate, or if I need to block the access, that also can be done inside the network itself. Okay. Then security. Obviously, it is also a major part nowadays. You have to make your connection secured. You have to make sure that who and all are going to have the full access or read-only access. Or you want to block internet, or you want to define some security rule that it is going to accept the RDP request from a particular IP only. So in that case, we have to define the security. Do we want to expose directly to the internet? To our like whether we want to expose our virtual machine directly over the internet or no? So in real time, guys, it is not going to be there. You are not going to expose directly your virtual machine over the internet. You are going to have some kind of firewall rules, right? Some kind of, gateways, some kind of jump servers, bastion server, which is going to allow you to access the resources. But before that, you have to access gateway server, and then gateway server will allow you to connect other servers. So how to set it? You have to design it. You have to think of it. Then management and process tools. Obviously, if you are going to configure infra, you are going to monitor it also. Let's say one of your virtual machine is running with high CPU utilization, more than 80%. You should get one alert on your email account, right? So in that case, you can use monitoring. So Microsoft also has their monitor alerts and monitoring services. But if you want to integrate any third party, like we have Datadog, right? Datadog is a tool which can be configured, to monitor your infrastructure. Okay, that is a third party tool, but we have the options available with Microsoft also. Choice is yours how you want to go with it. But obviously you have to configure this thing also. Exactly, SolarWind also, right? Then you have Grafana, right? You have Acronix, multiple tools are there. Okay. Yeah. So after doing this, then comes your testing phase. Once you are clear with all these steps, you are going to configure, first of all, test environment. After configuring test environment, if you are able to get everything in place, if everything is working as per your requirement, then only you are going to create it for production environment. So obviously, in order, test environment is needed, right? Testing is needed. That whether whatever security rules you have defined, what and all networking you have defined, right? What and all monitoring you have defined, it is working fine or not. So you can build a small testing environment, and once you are able to get it, then you can move it, or then you can start configuring it for your production environment. This is basically a whole life cycle. Even whenever any of the company, let's say as a company, I am working on cloud, right? But if I'm getting a new project from any of the client, then again, I have to make that test environment first of all, because each client has their own requirements. It is not possible that each and every client is going to have same kind of, requirements. So that is why even you are experienced cloud operations engineer, in that case also you have to go through with the testing phase, so that you will be able to move it, or so that you will be able to configure it for the production environment. So this is the whole idea on cloud computing. Now, till now, any question or any query you have? Yeah, exactly, Ashish. Multiple tools are there, right? So depending upon our requirement, depending on budget, right, we can opt for these services. So guys, am I clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now let's come to the point that, so as introduced, we are going to learn here 104, 500 and 700. Now what is 104, what is 500 and what is 700? Okay, so 104 is basically a kind of, administrator certification, where actually you are going to get the idea that how services can be configured, right? How you are going to make the security, how you are going to configure the networking, how to configure storage accounts, how to migrate your services from on-prem to cloud. If let's say you have on-prem Active Directory, right? And you want to synchronize it with the Entra ID, right? So all these things we are going to learn in 104. So for 104, I have prepared, guys, 9 modules that is strictly based on the topics provided by the Microsoft. 9 modules we will cover. So for each and every module, I have a dedicated PPT like this, through which you will be able to understand the topic, right? And I'll be sharing it with you time to time. So I will create a classroom for you all, and over there you will be able to get the related documents. It would be interview question, or it would be study material, or it would be assignments, right? So everything I'll be uploading it on your portal, on your
Thank you, sir.
classroom. Okay. Then 104. Then we have 500. Yes, Said, first of all, we have to get the idea of 104. Once you will get the idea of 104, once you are good with 104, you will be able to understand 700 and 500. It would be easy for you to understand. The basic
No,
thing,
sir.
yeah,
The purpose behind asking this question is because
yeah,
104 is completely into administration side.
right.
And after administration, will that be okay if you directly jump into security? Because as per my knowledge, before jumping into security, we need to be like we should be fully thorough in networking. Then only we can able to manage security. Just it's my assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are correct somehow, right? But whatever we are doing, whatever we are going to configure, right, it would be easy for you to understand. No need to just I'm just assuming that you should have a basic knowledge of networking, that's it. Apart of that, I'm not asking anything. I'm not asking a firewall knowledge, I'm not asking the routing knowledge and all. I'm just asking a basic knowledge, classes of IP, communication, gateways. Just need that kind of knowledge, that's it.
Oh,
Rest I will take care of.
okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So guys, 700, right? So 700 is totally designing the networking solution. Acha, for 104, we have a separate certification. For 700, we have a separate certification. And for 500 also, we have a dedicated certification. So if you want to go for the global certification, then you can book your exam, right? So which will cost you around, for Indian students, it will cost you around 4,800 plus taxes, which will come around 46, sorry, 56 something. Okay, for Indians. But if let's say you are out of India, then in that case, it depends on your location. Okay, for US, it would be $165. Okay. Even in coming lectures, I will let you know how you can book the exam. Before that, first of all, let's attain the knowledge, just get the knowledge, and then I will explain you that how to book exam, how you can give the exam from your home itself. Even now, I told you, right, the cost of the exam would be 58, 56 or 5,700 something. Even if you want, we will help you out with the exam voucher also. So if you want to go for a global certificate, we will help you out with the exam voucher also, where you will get a discount of 1,000 or 1,200 rupees. That also we will
Thank
provide
you.
you. Okay, just that thing you have to let us know. Based on that, we will procure it from the Microsoft, and then we will assign it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, even my previous students are even I provided the vouchers to my previous students also, so there is not an issue of that. All right, so 700, right? So in 700 we will see again totally we are going to follow the Microsoft topics. What and all Microsoft has mentioned in 700, we are going to configure it. We are going to see it in real time. We are not going to cover theory, right? Totally 99% it is going to be lab based sessions. Okay, so 700 how to design, right? What is virtual networks, VNets, right? How you can configure the IP, right? How to take class A IP, how to take class B, how to do further subnetting, right? How to make the communication of two different subnets, right? How to configure DNS services. Because in Azure there are two type of DNS: Azure provided DNS or custom DNS. Custom DNS that you want to configure, right? And Microsoft provided DNS, Microsoft is going to manage it. You are not going to have any kind of control on it. You can control your own custom DNS. Okay, that we will see. Okay, then routing. Okay, NATing, network address translation, right? Then design, implement hybrid networking, in which you are going to configure site to site VPN, point to point VPN, right? Virtual WAN. Then you have design, implement Azure Express route. Guys, I have just one thing. Express route for real time, it is not possible for me to show you. Only this single thing I will not be able to show you practically. Because for express route, we will be needing the help from internet service provider. Now, first of all, let's understand what is express routing or express route. So express route is basically to communicate your on-prem data center to cloud. If you have on-prem servers and you want to communication it with the you want to make the communication of your on-prem servers to Azure servers or Azure virtual machine. In that case, what we have to do? We have to set up the express routing. I will try if I'll get something for it. Okay. If not, I will be explaining it the process, step by step process in order to opt for the or in order to configure the express route. But still, I'll try to show you practically. Let me see if I can get some help from my home internet service provider. Okay, I'll see that. If not, I'll be showing you the process. Okay, how to do. Then load balancers. Balancing the load of multiple servers. If let's say one server is overloaded, then how we will be able to transfer the load to another server? That is load balancer, right? That we will see. As I told, internal load balancers are there, public load balancers are there. We will see in the topic. Okay. Then network security, right? In which you have network security groups, Azure Firewall, web application firewall. Okay. Then you have private access to Azure resources, in which you are going to have a Azure private link and Azure private network service endpoints. And then you have network monitoring. If you want to monitor your network, right? How your network is behaving, what is the bandwidth are consumed by your virtual machine, how we will be able to monitor it, that we will see in this topic. Okay, so totally we are going to follow these topics one by one, which is Azure 700, AZ 700. Then we have AZ 500, which is totally on security. As I will show you this also. I was mentioning that there are multiple data center available globally. Okay, so I will show you practically how it looks like. And yeah, this is 500 security. Right? Access, identity access management, guys, IAM. Nowadays, multiple openings are there in the organization for identity access management only, for IAM role only. You can relate it with me, right? Most of you are already aware of IAM access role. That who are going to have the access of what extent. Now, obviously, if I'm designing, if I have the access of the subscription, that doesn't mean only I am going to work on that subscription. Some of my teammates are also going to work on it. But if I want to restrict their access, that they will not be able to delete any kind of virtual machine, or they will not be able to create any kind of virtual machine, I can restrict their access with the help of identity access management. Okay, then secure networking. So see guys, it is interrelated, right? So in 700 also we talked about secure networking, right? So that is why I mentioned, once you will understand 104, I will make sure there would be not any issue to understand 500 and 700. I will teach in such a way that you will be able to understand in a easy manner. All right. Then secure compute, storage and database, how to secure it. Then manage security operation, what and all day-to-day activities which are being carried by the security operations engineer, that we will see in whole AZ 500. Okay, and just last thing for today, see guys, data center. So this is the real-time data of Microsoft, where actually you can see these dots, right? Sweden Central, Poland, Italy North, right? So on these location, data center is available. Microsoft data center is available. Central US, Central US again. It was West Central US, right? It was Central US. And then you can see here North Central US. So as soon as you're going to select any one of them, see, it is showing you the location. It is showing you year opened. So it was opened on in 2009. And then what and all products are there. Acha, it depends. Some of the region will support all kind of services available in Microsoft, but in some of the region, those services are not going to be there, right? I'll show you in real time once we will start the classes. Okay, so here you will get the idea. If you will select C product in this region, right, it will pop up one more window, and then you will be able to understand that what and all products are there. See, Cloud Shell, right? And you have to just go to get started, right? And then it will ask you to sign in, and then you will be able to get that what and all services are available in this region. Okay, and just to show you one more thing, let me give you a tour of Microsoft Data Center. Yeah, a virtual Microsoft Data Center. Let me just close it. Okay, and guys, they are using renewable resources for the power generation. Obviously, to run a data center, power is needed, right? And Microsoft is focusing on renewable resources. So you can see windmills are there. Okay, so if I'll enter to the lobby, let me just close these unnecessary windows. It is consuming the resources. Okay, now I just want to show you the data center. Okay, so let me just go next. Next. Even you can explore each and everything, okay, if you want. But I just want to show you data center, server room. What happened? It's taking too much time. Is there something issue with my internet? No, it's okay. Okay, so this is mechanical area where actually you can see these windmills and all, right? And let me go next. Yeah, so this is server room, right? So you can see the server room is the heart of Microsoft Cloud massive computing and storage capacity. Okay, obviously everything, whatever the customer of Microsoft is configuring their virtual machine, it is getting configured on a hardware itself. Okay, so how that hardware looks like, let me explore server room, and this is the server room, guys. Right, and here if you will click on it, you will be able to see blade servers. See, this is the server. This is the server. Okay, likewise you can see multiple racks. So onto all these racks, these servers, these blade servers are mounted. And whatever the VM you will configure, it is going to be configured in one of these. And even we have high availability also. For example, our virtual machine is configured on this server, right? And this whole rack is down. There is some power issue in this whole rack. Then in that case, Microsoft is giving you one solution that you can configure high availability locally. Means if this rack is going to be down, the same type of virtual machine is going to be configured in one more rack. So that if it will down, you will be able to access it through this rack. You need not to worry about all this thing. It is going to be managed by the Microsoft. You have to just opt for the high availability option. Then everything
Yes.
is the responsibility of Microsoft.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. It means HA like firewall HA.
Sorry.
HA said like HA.
Exactly.
Like
Yes. In
firewall
firewall.
HA. We are
Yeah,
using
yeah, yeah.
HA.
Got it. Got it. Yes. Same. Exactly. Shreyas, it is going to be a weekday batch. Okay. And 9:30 to 11 IST. Okay. Weekdays, Monday to Friday. Acha. So I was saying that if this rack will down, we will be able to access the virtual machine from this rack. Acha, Microsoft will give us one more option. If let's say the whole data center is down, it is not going to be happen in real time. Just hypothetically, I am thinking the whole data center is down. There is some natural disaster. Flood is there, for example, right? So in that case, Microsoft is giving one more solution that you can configure the high availability in any other region also. Means if I configured it in um, central US, for example, and the central US data center, the whole data center is down. There is some outage, for example, you know? So in that case, it will give the redundancy that you will be able to access the virtual machine from north data center of US, which is available in north actually, or which is available in any other region basically. That means ultimately you will be able to access the services. It totally depends upon your business requirement that how you are going to configure the high availability. And even I will be showing you practically also that how your high availability is going to be configured. And we will see practically that if we are going to, we will see disaster recovery example also. We will do disaster recovery, okay, in which we are going to shut down the services from one location, and then we will see whether we are able to access it from any other location or not. So this is whole idea about cloud computing, the cloud certifications, 104, 500, and then 700. So first of all, we will cover 104, because 104 is the basic, right? You will be able to understand the services, and then mastery we will do on 700 and then 500. And then further you can decide for cloud architect also, Azure cloud architect also. But for cloud architect, guys, I would recommend that you should have the knowledge of cloud operations of at least 4 years. Then only you should go for the architect level, because architect is going to design the solution and operations engineer is going to implement that solution. So there is a difference, right? So to design the solution, obviously you will be needing the experience of operations. Then only you will be able to design it. That is why I mentioned after that you can opt for the cloud architect. And even time to time I'll be letting you know the best path, you know, to opt in the cloud services. That we will have discussion in our classes. Now, any doubt, any question again? Just let me clear one thing. This is going to be a weekday batch, right? It is going to start from Monday. So from Monday, we are going to start with 104. So once we will complete 104, then we will do 500, and then we will do 700.
Yes, thank you.
So this is it from me. Any question?
No, sir. Thank you.
No, sir, thank
Sir,
you.
Monday same
All right.
class time.
9:30, same time,
Okay.
9:30. 9:30 we will start, and at least 1.5 hour of classes we are going to have daily, Monday to Friday.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining the session. So I'll see you on Monday. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah,
Good
thank you.
night. Bye.
Bye.
Good
Right,
night.
sir. Bye-bye, sir.
Bye.
Good night.
Hello, Sandeep.
Yes, Kiran.
No, this is course duration is for 2 months or it's for 6 months of duration.
6 months is the whole course, which is 104, 500, and then 700.
Okay. And the structures will be 13K, right? For this covering of 3 courses.
No,
It is
I don't aware of. You have to check with the team itself. Okay. So I
okay,
think
okay.
13K they are giving the discount if you are going to opt for all of these three. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Rest you can check with the team itself. Okay? They will let you know further. Okay.
Okay. So if I go for the weekend classes, so this is also I need to discuss with the
Yeah. Please check with the team itself. They will let you know what and all options. We have weekend batches also. So you can check with them. When it is going to be start, and then you can join the weekend batch as well. That option you have.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Bye, everyone. Good night.